I realized that the people that were where I wanted to be were losing just like me. And confidence isn't just something you're just born with. You have to build it. And most people don't go through that building phase because it's tough. You just have to say you're going to do something and do it over and over and over again. And then your body and your brain and your whole entire genetic makeup's like, okay, the guy who's driving the boat, I trust him.
All right, welcome to the Beyond the Transformation podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to give business owners a platform to share their transformations that shape their journey, fuel their growth, and how it inspires others. Today, I have the honor of speaking with Gage today. Could you just introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you do, a little bit about your story.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Gage Bonner. First off, thanks, Jake, for having me on. I appreciate it. But Gage Bonner, 24-year-old entrepreneur. At the moment, I just like to say the tagline entrepreneur because I'm running a couple different businesses, in the process of exiting one, and I've been in the entrepreneurship game since I was 15 years old in high school. I've always been a guy who wanted to make money. I didn't really like the way that the world was saying, hey, we got to go to college, get a job, all of this. Like, I wanted to be the boss, in short, and not in an egotistical way. Like, I wanted to manage my own life and be the boss of my own life. So as a result of that thought process, for the past few years, or probably 10 years now, close to, I've been heavy into trying to better myself, learn as much as I can in the entrepreneurship world. And at this point in time, I own about 4 companies technically, in the process of exiting one. And there was a point in time where I owned 7, 8 at one time. I was just trying to figure it out, young buck trying to learn the ropes, and failed a lot. But at this point in time, I feel really good and healthy in my business life, and I'm excited to see what, comes up in the future.
That's incredible. I mean, most people are not able to say that they've started one business. So I would say that you fit the term serial entrepreneur in my mind, which is just pretty cool. Just trying it all and see what sticks. Now, you said you started when you were 15. How did that start? What was that feeling that you said you always knew you wanted to run a business? I mean, to those who haven't had this feeling, it might sound very foreign to them.
Yeah, bro, when I was 15, I was, scrolling down the YouTube rabbit hole one day, and I saw this guy talking about drop shipping. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to try it. 15-year-old knew nothing. I had like probably $1,000 to my name. And the guy that I saw started drop shipping was teaching how to use Facebook ads. And that was back in like 2015, 2016. If any of you guys remember, Facebook ads were juiced. Like, you could just put some money in, your post would also go viral, and boom, you'd have a, platform to start a business on. And I randomly saw a video drop shipping, and I'm like, all right, running around, all right, what do I do? How do I do this? All I did was watch that one video. I wasn't smart enough yet to go watch more, learn more. I was like, I'm just going to try it. So I went on Shopify, set up a free store, and I called it Sandy Dunes. And it was a female bikini store. Don't know why I did that, but regardless, fast forward about a week, I found some bikinis on Alibaba and stole the photos, put it on my Shopify store, and stole those exact same photos, ran it as a Facebook ad. And I put $300 into it, and it turned into like 16, 17 grand. My first ever business. So I'm hot shot. I'm in my room, not telling my mom or anything. I'm just thinking, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be a millionaire in like a week if I keep doing this. $17,000 a day. I didn't know any better. And maybe a week later, when I'm like, all right, now I got to look up a YouTube video on how to fulfill these orders, I figured out I had to go back to the Alibaba guy, buy the product, send it off. Couldn't get in contact with the guy. I'm like, oh, this isn't good. Have no mentor, have no knowledge, have no nothing. I'm just Mr. Big Shot in my room thinking I could figure it out. A month goes by, never figured it out. Shopify refunded all the money. It was in my personal bank account, came out of my personal bank account, all that mess. And that was business number 1, was up on a high for, about a week, and then right back down to ground zero. But what was the question again? I went off on
No, you're good. I just like what sparked it, and you hit it perfectly on a head. You just saw it online, and you're like, hey, I can do this. You just kind of had it in you. Now, from there, after a huge, high and then a huge low, what makes you jump to your next business? What's your next venture? Or take it either way you want. Or what was the first thing you would say that hit that you started to see as a success, or the money was coming in but it wasn't getting pulled back out?
Man, for years I was in that phase that probably a lot of young entrepreneurs in right now, where the lady in the red dress, where you see something pretty on social media that people are saying you can make all this money with, and you jump into it. And I mean, from there, I went into options trading. I went into agency. I went into like 10 different things in the span of the next few years while I was in high school. just trying to figure it out using the little money I had to test new things. I lost everything I ever made for like the next probably 3 to 4 years until I got out of high school and realized like, okay, I'm kind of in the real world. I need to not lose everything. You know, mom's not handing me spaghetti at night anymore. It's time to feed myself and take care of, the future that's about to pop out. So, yeah, it was just that young ambition. I feel like all of us, if you're an entrepreneur or just human in general, you see all these things online and you think you can do that. And it's not until you get popped in the mouth that you realize there's a little more to it than you see on social media or you see out there in the world. Because the people that are winning, I realized through losing that the people that are winning probably lost too in the beginning, if that makes any
Hmm.
kind of sense. I know it's like a switch around, but that's how I felt. I realized that the people that were where I wanted to be were losing just like me. So it didn't at that point after I'd, had years of losing, years of failed businesses kind of deter me. It just made me switch the way I was thinking about things and try and do or make moves a little bit smarter so I didn't just keep losing because it was a 4 year run of just straight L's.
Wow, that's you said so you said that you had the mindset of like kind of they've done it so I can do it. Now you said a lot of people have that, but I would say that's still an abnormal mindset, right? Most people see someone who's successful and says there's no shot that I could do that. What do can you point back to anything what gave you that confidence to go out and make these mistakes and fail these businesses?
I can't really like pinpoint anything on the head. I've just always been a pretty headstrong person. It probably to tell you the truth stemmed from like my personal confidence. Like I played sports growing up
Hmm.
and I would always set big goals in this sport or that sport and like, hey, I'm gonna go do this and I would do whatever it takes to do it. And by doing that, I became confident in myself because confidence in its truest form is doing what you say you're going to do over and over again. So I had the confidence within me, and I think that's truly where it stemmed from. And you're right, most people in today's society don't have that level of confidence. Like I see it all the time on my social media. Gage, how do I become confident? And that is probably the biggest pivotal piece of being successful in not just entrepreneurship but life is stemming from having confidence, and confidence isn't just something you're just born with. You have to build it, and most people don't go through that building phase because it's tough. Like I remember when I first met you, you were I see the hat in the back. I was going to bring up the BPN. Like I was like, okay,
Yes,
he's
sir.
into fitness and stuff like that. Like most people in fitness who have achieved some form of a better body or a higher, healthier lifestyle have confidence. It doesn't matter what lane you're walking down to build this confidence in. You just have to say you're going to do something and do it over and over and over again. And then your body and your brain and your whole entire genetic makeup's like, okay, the guy who's driving the boat, I trust him. He hasn't steered us wrong yet. He said he was going to go there and he went there. It may have taken a year or two, but he did it. And that's where the confidence is built from. And to answer your question, I think it was just from outside of entrepreneurship, me doing what I said I was going to do. And I mean, maybe that's from my parents. They were really good parents and they were very strict and had some good value. I had some good values instilled in me to like, Gage, if you say you're going to do that, you better do it or we're going to get on you. Maybe that's where it came from. I don't know. But luckily, I was able to build confidence in other areas outside of entrepreneurship that I really think helped me in the entrepreneurial world.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I mean, it's always more simple than people want to make it out to be. Looking for that's what I found too is looking for the magical fix, and really all it is just doing what you say you're going to do day after day, and pretty straightforward. That's pretty cool. Now let's talk about going forward, right? Like we'll hit a little bit more on some of your other businesses, but looking forward, what are you doing now? What are your plans in the future?
At the moment, I'm in a big shift. As I said, I'm exiting a company that I've poured my heart and soul into for the past year. And I'm in a situation now where it's just leaning towards me walking away from that company, selling that. So right now I'm in a bit of a limbo phase where it's like, okay, I have more capital than I've ever had in my life. I have a probably better mindset than I've ever had. I have more knowledge than I've ever had. And I trust myself to take me wherever I want to go. So I'm in this weird like bubble. To be totally honest, I've never felt this before. This is the weirdest feeling in my life where it's like everything's okay. Now do what you want to do. Like do what you truly want to do because yes, I've been making money for the better part of the last 3 or 4 years, but I haven't felt comfortable. And right
Mhm.
now I'm comfortable and I don't like it. It's weird. It's weird, isn't it? You want to build these businesses to be comfortable, but I'm comfortable and I don't like it. I'm kind of scared to tell you the honest truth.
Mm,
So
mm,
moving forward, the thought process in my mind, like I'm literally running through this on the daily right now. The thought process in my mind is let's build something that truly resonates with me at my core, like something that actually fulfills me and isn't based on money. And I think at the moment that if I build that and focus on something that I will be proud of, that it'll do what it's supposed to do and grow the right way. If I, stay true to the values that I want to instill. So like at the moment, I'm working on building a coaching program for agency owners. I've been doing it for like the past 3 to 4 months, and in the background for like the past year. And it's almost like I don't know why I started it about a year ago. Somebody just came to me and asked for help. And it's almost like God plants these seeds in your life way, way back in the past. And you don't think of it in the moment. And then as time goes on, he's like watering that garden for you behind the scenes, like behind your back while you're working over here. He's watering that garden. And it just so happened that this all kind of sprouted as I was moving out of something else. So
mm.
just looking at all the signs in my life, I feel like the angle that I'm headed is it really resonates with my core and who I am as a human, and I'm happy for the journey that's ahead. But at the same time, I'm scared because I've never been in this position. So I'm being truthful here. It's
Yeah.
something I have knowledge of because I don't know what I'm supposed to do or where I'm supposed to go, but I'm gonna at least try and stay true to what I believe in.
Yeah, man. That's amazing. I mean, that's you're in an exciting place to be, but I can also relate to the fear that you have as well, where you can almost get comfortable to a point, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it almost sounds like since you are such an ambitious person, you get a little bit scared if you're starting to feel a little comfortable. You're scared, a little bit worried about losing that ambition and that drive.
No,
Is there any bit of that?
you're hitting the nail on the head, bro. I can't sit still. Like I don't know what to do when stuff's not moving around crazy. It's weird.
Yeah.
I think you're hitting the nail on the head with that.
Yeah, I mean, and then so you're starting the coaching, and you also said, you want to do something that you feel fulfilled by. Do you feel like there's potential for that to be what's going to fulfill, or do you have other ideas as like other places you have passions that you want to pursue eventually?
Yeah, no, 100%. The coaching is something that it's probably been one of the most fulfilling journeys I've been on in my life. Like I've run an agency for a long time now. And does servicing clients and providing them value and helping them grow their business, is that fulfilling? Yes. But the one-to-one interaction of helping not a company but a human level
Mm.
up is very fulfilling. And I'm starting to see that and just checking off boxes in my brain like, okay, that feels good. Let's add some more into that. Like I've got my water glass and I've normally had 10 other water glasses. I try and pour the little bit of water I have into it. But now it's like I've got one glass. I don't even need to pour it out. Let's just try and pour
Yeah.
back into it. And yeah, it's definitely fulfilling me currently. And I believe that as I scale this up and hopefully scale it up the right way, it'll, fulfill me more than I could have ever hoped for.
Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, and I think we talked a little bit when I started is you 100% could try to bring on a bunch more agency clients and just focus solely on your agency, focus solely on branding, and you probably in the end would make more money. But like you said, you now have the ability to quite literally give people the same freedom that you also have for yourself. So, I mean, I guess what initially sparked that first coaching moment? Was it with friends? Was it what got you into the idea of, hey, I could help bring along others to do the same thing that I've done?
I I really helped out a buddy randomly, and it worked for him, and I saw it change his life. And like I never told him how it made me feel, or I never like told him. I was just like, "Good job, bro," but I never like showed him the smiles it like gave me on the inside that like something that I built worked for him, and the recipe for success that I built for myself through years of grinding worked for him. And it was really like seeing him grow and have the freedom that he really deserved. Like he was a hardworking guy, he just didn't have a couple pieces in place. That Yeah, that kind of set it off for me, and that was like, okay, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the route we take because money is cool, but money is a tool.
Mm.
What's the difference in $50,000 a month and $100,000 a month? It's double, but I mean, would I like to make $100,000 a month every single month? Sure, but at the end of the day, like that difference, is it worth it to keep your heart intact, your life intact, your freedom? And I mean, your freedom doesn't really change, in my opinion, from those levels. arguably, if you run an agency, the extra 50K is going to make your life a little bit more hectic.
Mm.
So I don't really know yet, man. I'm in a weird phase of learning, which is cool. I haven't been here. I mean, I've always tried to learn in life, but I haven't been in a phase where I get to make a couple mistakes and spend a little bit of money to make them and still be okay. Normally, it's like back against the wall. If you make this mistake and lose this money, you're done. So
Mm.
it's a weird phase, but I can only think that this is what people who are where I want to be have been in, and I'm just
Yeah.
trying to make the moves they make, if that makes sense, or they have made in the past.
100%. 100%. And I wonder because I'm not there yet. I will be there with my agency as well. But something I think about a lot in business and in life is we set checkpoints of like once I'm here, then I will get to feel set emotion or I will be fulfilled or happy. Now, when it comes to like benchmarks in your business, whether that's financial, whether that is acquiring certain clients, whether that is meeting certain people, do you feel like you set expectations for what things would feel like and then they were different when you got there, or do you feel like for the most part you kind of are just go with the flow and you don't forward think like to that extent, if that makes sense?
I'll tell you when I like growing up and I'm like, okay, I want to make $10,000 per month. When I hit $10,000 per month, it was everything I thought it felt like and more. Past that, not so much.
Mm.
Oh, I gotta add another $10,000 per month. It's like, oh, life's the same. Another 10,000. Oh, life's the same. So I think the initial rise, like when you finally, because ground zero sucks. When you finally get to level one and you can breathe, it's awesome. But everything past level one, if you don't have your moral compass in checked, and there's two sides to life if you're an entrepreneur, there's business and life. And I've given up a lot of life for where I am now. And do I regret it? No. But I would say that that kind of plays into what you're saying that you say, I want to get this because it's going to make you feel this way. Past level one, when you're really leveling up in the business world, it doesn't always make you feel the way that you think it's going to. That's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know, that's kind of a greedy approach to things. Like you feel like you always need more. That's kind of like the human way. I feel like society's instilled in humans as a whole to one more, one more, one more. We're a consumeristic society. Like it's built to spend money. We're built to spend money, make money, spend money.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe I just have done a decent job at staying grounded and it's not all it's cut out to be, in my opinion.
What do you think keeps you grounded? Because I mean, like that is the culture, and that is especially in the digital spaces. It's get the next car, get the next place, meet the girls, do all these things. What do you think it is that keeps you grounded?
I don't personally know. Maybe I will say me and my girl have been together. We're coming up on like our 4 year. She's she's put me through the ringer because she like you could say invested in me. Like she's like I know you're gonna be something one day, Gage. I believe in you. When I was like nothing, right? When I first started my agency journey, and I'm like, okay, well, I just want to let you know. Like I said this at the beginning before I even dated her and asked her to be my girlfriend. I was like, I just want to let you know I'm gonna go into a phase where it's going to get rough in terms of the time that I'm able to allocate to, our relationship. And she's like, okay, I'm willing to do that. Like, let's try this. And for the past 4 years, we've been in that phase. And
Mm.
I think her and knowing that she wants more from me, she wants me to love her more, she wants me to spend more time with her, has kept me grounded in the fact that is it worth making an extra $20,000 per month to give up time with my beautiful girlfriend when I'm in my young 20s? I don't know. To some people, it might be. But to me, I'm only 24 once. I'm only going to be able to travel to Bali once with my girlfriend while we're young and we can run around and do whatever we want. We're going to be old one day. Time keeps ticking off the clock. So, in my opinion, everybody has a different balance in where they spend their time or if they want to make money, do it. Like you're basically trading time for money, regardless of how you structure any deal, anything at all. So for me personally, from a grounding aspect, I think it's definitely changed over the past few years as I've made more money and maybe gotten to a more comfortable place in terms of capital in my bank account. But having good people around you really changes everything, man. Because she's
Yeah.
been on my neck. Like we've been through the ups and downs. She's almost left multiple times, and thankfully she's still here because Maybe it's because she loves me, or maybe it's because she loves the ambition, or maybe she sees the vision. I don't know. I can't speak for her, but having good people around you that believe in you and trust in you kind of adds that extra weight on your back where you're like, okay, I got all these people on my back trusting in me to make this happen. I need to make the right sound decisions that aren't just based off personal gain and money,
Mm.
because there's a lot more to the world than money. And I think
Yeah,
everybody knows that.
100%. 100%. And I guess because I'm 24 as well, and I have my own entrepreneurship journey, and it's very different than yours. But I guess I want to ask you, and then maybe I'll follow up with some points of how I've seen it. But when you're talking to other young entrepreneurs, right? It's I would say online it's painted out to be super flashy, super cool, but people don't see the ugly, people don't see the late nights, people don't see the behind the scenes of the sacrifices that you make as a young entrepreneur. What are some of those things that you had to say no to? What are some of those things that you would say that people in their 20s, want to be doing that you weren't doing? Obviously there's a balance. Everybody has a different balance and you can make it work while doing the same things. But what did that sacrifice look like to you? What did that balance look like to you, at least early on?
In terms of balance, bro, I really had none. Like I'll be totally blunt here. Around my town and my local sphere, I'm pretty not liked because I said no, and I'm totally okay with that. I was willing to say no to going out with my old friends, no to going out to the bars, no to going to drinking or smoking or any of that stuff. I say no to a lot of people, and it rattles off quick. And because of that, people call me an asshole, for lack of better words. But I'm okay with that. I know that in my core, I'm saying no because I know where I'm going. I can't give up that time. I'm sorry. I'm not really sorry. And that is something that I just had a conversation with one of my good buddies. He's like, these three people really were talking bad about you the other day. And I'm like, that's okay. Like, I'm not everybody's best friend. That is okay. If they're talking about me, maybe they should talk about something. I have a weird view on that, bro, because I don't really care about the 99% view of me. I know where I'm going and I know the time that it takes to get there. And if I have to say no to multiple things, I will do that.
Hmm.
So I also, on the flip side, have said no to family a good bit, and that's one thing that was on my list this year that I'm going to reel back because my mom, my dad could be gone tomorrow, and I got to clock that back in. Maybe I'll take them on a trip. I don't know. So there's two sides to the coin there. There's good no's and there's bad no's. And as a result of a lot of my no's, I may not be the most well liked person with people in my age group. And you'll learn in business, anybody watching this, that if you're a younger entrepreneur, people in your age group probably aren't the people that are going to get you paid at this point in time. So it's okay to maybe not be the most friendly person, not friendly, but the most liked person with people your age. With people above me, I'm everybody's best friend. Let's go do what you want to do. But those are the people that were paying the bills. So that's a very blunt way of saying, and that is the truth. I'm really not liked locally. I have like three or four friends. Everybody else is like, I don't know about Gage, man, but I'm cool with that. That's okay to me. I'm willing to shoulder that. What about you? I mean, I know you said off the call. I mean, I guess I'll let you say it on the podcast since this is your pod. What about your business journey, Jake? Because I don't know that much about it. You said you started a window cleaning. I heard a little bit. Could you tell me a little bit about you? Because I'm curious about your thoughts on this as well, with us being the same age.
Yeah, I mean, my journey is definitely different. Definitely made less money than in my journey, which is great, and that's fine. And it's exciting and inspiring to see other people out there crushing it. I would say I ended up getting more into, I don't know, blue collar. It wouldn't be blue collar, but more like service type work when I was younger, right? And that was when you think young kid getting into a business, it was me with a lawnmower in the back of my family's minivan, myself and a buddy. What do we name it? Lawn Be Cut. We were out with the flyers. We were in the neighborhood apps. We were mowing lawns and not making a lot of money, but we thought we were at the time. We didn't have to. I favored it much over my 40-hour weeks at Target pushing carts,
Yeah.
right? You know, so that was sort of like the first thing I did. But then, as more of a serious, like full-on business venture as a legal entity and everything, in college, I started a window cleaning business. A buddy, basically. I'm very much like you, Gage, where it's like opportunity presents itself. Let's go for it. I've gotten better at that, gained more confidence and stuff, and just shoot for it, fail, shoot for it, fail. But I had a buddy who cleaned windows for a company for 1 year, and he's like, the naive business owner. I think there is a level of not delusion, but you have to have a delusional sense that you are going to become successful at it,
Hmm.
right? And not everybody can get there. I mean, I don't know. I don't think everybody's cut out for it. I just don't. I think some people have it innately in them. Some people can like gain the skills, but some people I don't think really are cut out for it, and that's just the harsh truth. But so, anyways, we jumped into the window cleaning. We were, Facebook groups, door-to-door flyers, just hustling, and we look back and we're like, we didn't make any money those first couple of years. We were using my buddy's truck, his ladders, but our last 2 years, as we were wrapping up college, we were able to hire some buddies. So I was able to employ some of my high school friends. It was the favorite job they ever had. We had some hires from Indeed. Some worked out, some didn't work. One kid said he could climb a ladder. We found out he was deathly afraid. That was a huge lapse in judgment on our part in not doing that in the interview process. He got on a roof. I thought he was going to poop his pants and fall down or something. So that was rough. But yeah, man, we scaled that to multiple six figures by our fourth year, and we got super involved with local networking groups, and we were in groups with business owners 2, 3 times our age. Some of them had been running businesses for 3 generations. So just getting in spaces and being around other successful people, even at the local level, right? And like running a few different locations, or maybe they have a eight truck crew on a air duct cleaning company or things like that. Yeah.
God, I love entrepreneurship, bro. Stories like that, just the nitty gritty start to building it up to something that is actually something is. I just love those stories. It just makes me smile inside. Let me ask you this then: what do you think your level of, let's just say there's like a scale of 1 through 10 entrepreneurs, right? And you were at zero before you started. How much do you think you learned over that? You said it was a couple year period, 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, four
It
years.
sounded like you were just in the dirt, getting up every day, making it happen, and you scaled it to
Mm.
something that could actually pay you money and take care of you and your family. How much did you learn over those few years of like, did you have, I guess, two-part question, did you have anybody to teach you how to start a window cleaning business and how to scale it, or were you just waking up and ripping and learning by failures? Like, tell me about that.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I'll start off with I was going to college at the time, so it was a summer gig for the first couple of years. It wasn't like a full-time gig trying to get through. Um, but when we first started, I will say like I have a 4 year business degree, and I gained. I mean, I guess it would have been year three, right? The first 2 years were fun. It was kind of like a buddy in myself in a truck, and we were learning and we were hustling, but we weren't treating it as a business, right? So year three, four, I would say those 2 years were the full on business learning. Now we actually, out of all of my classes in college, right? College was a good experience, but my degree almost worthless to what I'm doing. One class, it was an entrepreneurship seminar class. There were 5 people in the class. They brought in some local business owners and like business minds. So a couple realtors. There was a guy who ran a window cleaning or air duct cleaning business. And this guy actually, he sat me down and in his office, and he was like, "Are you serious about this? Right? Are you serious about scaling your business?" Now, I guess to backtrack super quick, we were doing a Shark Tank presentation, and I was able to pitch my like window cleaning business as the presentation, right? So I sat down in his office, and he was like, "I can't find you online. Like your branding sucks. Like, are you serious about this?" And I'm like, "I'm all in on this." And he's like, "Okay, well then this is what you're gonna do." And he's like, "My brother actually runs like the biggest window cleaning company in the state, basically." And we didn't work with him, but he's like, "Go on his website. He has his pricing there. He has his process. Mirror it." He's like, "Don't reinvent the wheel if you're providing a service that has been done. Don't try to come up with the next magical way that you're going to bring in leads for a window cleaning business if you are the window cleaning business. Just, we copy pasted his pricing into a spreadsheet. We altered the packages a little bit, but literally like carbon copied it in. I made a logo in Fiverr. I started, getting our branding a little more classy. We were rocking polos instead of dirty tees, and just make the brand a little bit nicer. But I guess to answer your question, like I would say from the beginning of that process to the end of that, like I don't know how I would rate it out of 10, but like coming in, I was probably at a 2. I was there enough where I'm like I can put my foot in the door, but then when I was done, I don't know. I mean, like possibilities are endless. I'm thinking I can run any business in the world. A little bit delusional, but I'm closer to an 8 probably after finishing all that.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. See that's a testament to the confidence scale. Like you said, I'm gonna build a window cleaning business, and you boom, 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 built it up. That's awesome. And I guess too, to talk about what you just said, how big was that moment when that guy sat you down? Like having somebody who has been there, done it, built something. Like how big and pivotal was that for you guys?
Yeah, that was everything I think because it was just the real and the raw, and that's what I found. Is like most business owners want to help you, like especially local. Like they will give you their time because most people don't ask for their time. Like they've spent all these years gaining this knowledge, and then like you starting the coaching. Like if they can provide value to people and it results in someone else's success, what better feeling? So I mean that I think that was game changing for us. It just completely shifted how we operated. Well, I think another thing when he was like copying my brother's pricing, we were charging way less than we should have. We were not, it was not a well-run business. We were undercharging because we were like, well, we're new to it, and that's one of the things that I say to anyone who's trying to start a business. You don't need to be the most expensive guy, but it's a race to the bottom. And Gage, I'm sure you can testament to this. Like there are so many people fighting for the scraps, and we don't want them, right? Like we don't want the crappy clients. We don't want, the cheaper the client, the more headache. And that's just the reality a lot of the time. Our smallest jobs were always our hardest jobs and our most demanding jobs. So, he made us value ourselves for what it was actually worth. He's like, are you providing the service professionally? Yes. Okay, then charge what professionals charge.
Yeah, no, that's so true. I like what you said too, where business owners, successful people want to help other people. That was one of my big humps I had to get over in my early journey was I needed help. I was at this point where I needed knowledge to scale up. And I thought that no one wanted to help young Gage. No one wanted to help the young Bucks win, which was stupid. It was so stupid. But I had a similar situation. Somebody luckily got dropped into my life by the grace of God, I think, that gave me the info I needed at a point where I really needed it, and it helped me scale up. And
What did that look like for you? Well, how did that come about?
I mean, back to what I was saying about not being the most liked person, saying no to everybody, I became really lonely and basically 99% alone. Like everybody had moved away that was actually in business with me, and I was just in a spot where it was all on me, and I didn't really know how to level up. And randomly, this guy popped into my life, like 5, 6 years older than me, $10 million net worth in his late 20s, and like reached out to me, and he's like, "Yo, let's get a workout in. I see you're killing it." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, let's do that." And I worked out with him, and then I like opened up, like, "Yo, look, bro, I'm lonely." He's like, "Bro, I've been there. Like, let's stay in touch." Stayed in touch for a couple weeks, and then what do you know? I moved into his house like a month later. And like sometimes in life, you can't explain events that happen, but I believe in a higher power. I know Jake believes in a higher power, and I believe that that happened for me at the perfect time. And it sounds like it did for you. And I also believe in momentum in the aspect of we can relate it to biblical scripture and all that stuff, but just in layman's terms, momentum is the most powerful force in this whole business game. And I believe that I was doing the right things. Jake was doing the right things, trying to scale his stuff. And just by, the grace of God, things popped into our lives at the right time. So to relate this back to like the viewer, anybody watching this, if you, do what you're supposed to do for a long enough time period, I don't want to call it luck, but the coincidence that we just spoke about will strike for you. I've seen it time and time again in so many people's businesses. You just have to keep putting yourself, you have to keep showing up every day. And who knows, the thing that you need might show up to your doorstep. And it sounds like that happened for both of us and changed both of our lives.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and like the reality too, and what I try to encourage, because I have friends who, I mean, I'm sure you see this too. Like the thing with entrepreneurship as well is so many people want to start a business someday, right? They want to do this someday. you've got all the ideas. You just got to start something. Like, in no world did I want to clean windows. Like, there was no world where I'm like, window cleaning, like, this is going to be, once I turn, 19, I want to clean windows. Like, no. Like, and what, even sometimes when I was in it, why am I doing this? What do I want to do? But, like, I learned all of this. Like, I went through a business 101, 201, 301, 401 class of business, more important than my college, just by doing something, right? So, like, you just, I mean, seizing the opportunities that come your way and just jumping on it. I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect business opportunity. If you think there is, I don't know, you're probably going to be sadly out of luck, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. It's just the Nike logo, just do it. Like, it's so cliche, but it's so true. Like, Nike crushed it with that. Just freaking do it, man. I mean, maybe bad things come of it, but for all the bad you got over here, you're gonna have some knowledge that's gonna stack up. So that's kind of my motto is like, just do it. Now, not in the grand scheme of things. You have to say no to a lot of things once you say just do it and start doing it. But if you're thinking about starting, just do it. I mean, time is ticking off the clock every single day. You're watching this podcast. You just lost 35 minutes of your life. You either gained some value from it or it was a negative experience for you. So just do things that are leading you or pointing you in the direction that you want to go. And stop wasting time scrolling on TikTok or watching Netflix or whatever it may be if you want to live a better life. Those things are literally created to take your time and dollars by other businesses. You want to build a business, you got to take other people's time and dollars, and I would urge you to take their time and dollars and give them something valuable in return. So that was a little
Yeah.
tangent.
No, that's great. That's so good. I mean, I kind of want to shift a little bit and talk, since I'm going to be running a digital agency as well, I want to talk a little bit about your successes with that and, your wins that you had with clients. And I guess the question that I have on my brain is when you find a client, and you're bringing them on, how are you able to provide them with the best value to their specific industry? Because obviously you're going to be working with different industries. Sometimes it's an area that you don't have the most knowledge in. What are your initial steps when you're bringing on a client?
So now that I'm a little bit more established and have a little bit more knowledge in the game, I'm pretty, what you would say, narrow on who I would bring in. Like, I'm pretty niche down as to who I would bring in because I know that I can drive results here, here, and here. Now, if somebody comes in over there and I know I can't drive them results, I will be super upfront and honest about that. Be like, hey, my specialty is this. I could drive results for you here. I haven't necessarily done it for somebody in your niche yet, but we can talk about doing that. So, like, my business, I've talked to you about this off cam, is very one-to-one relationship based. So I am very honest. I'm very in depth and in contact like very frequently with all of my clients. So as a result of it being so relationship based, I feel like I'm able to kind of roll out the red carpet in terms of allowing my clients to feel like they're in a safe space with me and we can talk about stuff truthfully because like those are my pillars. It's very relationship based and very ROI based. Like we are going to be friends or we're not going to work together and I'm going to make you money or we're not going to work together. Or we're both going to make money or we're not going to work together. And I think that is the at its core what business should be. You should be friends with people you do work with and you should also both make money. And that's kind of like to talk about what you're saying. If I can't be a friend with them and us both make money, I don't do it. And even at the beginning, dude, there was a couple clients. That's how I learned this that I would take on that I could be friends with, but I didn't know how to make them money. And I just kind of learned through failure that, hey, it has to be both. It's not one or the other. It has to be friends and both make money.
And how do you navigate early on when you're in discussion with a client? Let's say they fit the area you want to work in from an outside perspective. They look like somebody you might want to work with. How do you gauge that initial conversation to be like, green flag or, yellow flag or major red flag?
In terms of like a relationship aspect or
Yeah, knowing that. I mean, obviously you can't ever fully know, but but what are your kind of processes to be like, hey, I think this could really work? What do you have to kind of check off?
I don't, I think that's kind of a, you would call it like a personal, subconscious, like
Yeah.
conversational, like every human has a different set of social skills and they can gauge people in different ways. I'm probably not the greatest socially skilled person out there. Like I can't go to networking events and just rip intros and like become best friends with everybody. I'm not the most social guy, but I would say that I've just learned how to frame the entire relationship in the way that I want it to be framed in. And if they cannot walk into that frame by me guiding them, it doesn't work. So what I mean by that is like, let's say I hop on a call with somebody who wants to work with me in my agency. I will do my best to frame them to believe that the two pillars that I just talked about, relationships and ROI, is going to be the basis of our relationship. So I'll basically have a simple conversation, be like, hey, these are my morals, these are what we do, this is how we believe, this is how we work. And if they are like, oh my God, I love that, I love that, I love that, I love that, and I can move them into the frame where I want them to be for the entirety of that business relationship, then the box is checked and we'll rock out. If they're hesitant, a lot of times they've been burned by agencies before or whatever it may be, and they're like, okay, I don't think agencies can generate me an ROI, then I'll probably cut it off. But in the beginning, I'll be honest, I was taking whatever I can get.
Yeah.
Because as much as I wanted to make money for people, I was still trying to make money myself. So in the beginning, when you're kind of just starting out, you take what you can get, you learn, you lose a lot of clients over the first year or two, but I believe that that's just the game.
Yeah, no, that's great. No, that perfectly answers that question. That's 100% like the same experience that we had early on with window cleaning too. Very different, but we were taking every crappy job we could get, right? Because we needed the jobs. And then eventually you get to a point where you can start firing customers, and that is an amazing feeling, you know? You don't want to have to do it, but if you have a customer that you're only keeping on because you need the money coming in, that's a rough feeling. I mean, and I love the building it on relationship. I want to work with you, you want to work with me. That just makes it so much more pleasant for everybody.
Yeah, no, 100%. And as an agency owner, you're basically building like when you start, you have Jake's agency version one. Like you have version one of your product or service, and you have to shovel people in to utilize that version to tweak it and make it better. Just like an iPhone. A new iPhone comes out every year because they get user reports, all this data, all this stuff to see what's good and what's bad, and they tweak it and make it better. So that's what I say to like agency owners who are first starting out. Like think about Apple when they first dropped the new iPhone. They would have never made the next iPhone if they didn't drop the first one and have people who probably weren't ready for it. It probably wasn't the greatest product, test it, tell them what they needed to fix, and then create a new one. That is the epitome of business. You're going to start out, you're going to have a subpar slash shitty product in the beginning. And by servicing people to the best of your ability and letting them utilize that product or service, you're going to be able to tweak it and get better and better and better. So you shouldn't feel bad about starting out and not having everything, all your ducks in a row. The biggest companies in the world started out at 1.2. So it's just a part of the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's overarching theme in a lot of the things we're talking about. It's just like action, right? Like you said, just do it. I mean, like, I think so many people, business owners included, you have that analysis paralysis. You're trying to wait to take action until things are perfect, and it's like they're never going to be perfect. Like they will never be perfect. And that's something I've seen you do really well in the things you're doing, kind of a build as you go type of a guy. How what would you say to people along these lines? You know, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts around like how your model works, like how you're just able to go and innovate as you're going? Is there any tricks and tips to that, or is that just kind of who you are and the way you've always been?
Um, I did, I, I did a series when it was COVID, right when COVID was ending. I created this series called Millionaire in the Making. Like I said, I met that guy that was a mentor to me, and I was in a rut. And he was like, just take action. You got to get yourself out of this. You put yourself here. So the action that I took was like, social media was on the uprise. I wanted to build my personal brand, and I wanted to also have some accountability on myself publicly so I couldn't, shy away from anything. So in terms of just building as you go, I basically came up with this series idea where I was going to document my journey to becoming a millionaire. And for a year straight, every single day I posted it. And it was like day one, and I'd show if I made money, lost money, the real raw stuff. And then luckily that caught fire. And like 30 days in, I'd had like millions of views. People like, when's the next day coming? When's the next day coming? And from an accountability standpoint, like, dude, every day I was dialed because I knew I had millions of people that I had no idea about counting on me to drop a video. And like, yes, I was honest. Some day, like one day I showed I lost like 12,000 bucks. I didn't want to post that publicly. Who wants to share an L like that online? But I did. And the accountability from that created this like snowball effect of like, I can't not keep going. Like I gotta build as I go because there was so much momentum built up. The snowball was rolling down the hill so fast. It was like there's no stopping now. I'm gonna get crushed by what's behind me. So
Mm.
the build as you go theme just came from some events that transpired in my life. Maybe it was self-induced by me starting this big thing and like things hitting in the right way. But yeah, even to this day, I'm a build as I go guy. Like the entire coaching program I launched, just like I said, V1, it's going to turn into V2, V3, V4. Like I'm going to have little things that I have to tweak and boom, boom, boom. Like say Jake, for example, is in the program and he has a problem. I'll do what I can in V1 to fix it because the knowledge is up here, but maybe it's not in the program. And then as a result of that, I don't do bad by Jake. I still deliver on what he needs. And then V2, I know, okay, boom, Jake had that question that wasn't in there. Let me add that. And that's kind of how business goes is you just build it out over time and tweak and always make it better.
Yeah, that's so good. I mean, yeah, I have like I said, I keep coming back to I have buddies who are just talking about all these business ideas they've got, and I'm like, guys, you just gotta dive in head first, and you'll figure it out, or you won't. And either way, you're gonna come out on top because you learned something. So I guess Gage, let's start wrapping up here. Let's just talk about how can people find you? Like, where do you want them to follow you? What's the best way to get in touch if they have an agency and they want to scale as well?
Yeah, I run everything through my socials. So Gage B10 on Instagram. I'm Gage B10 everywhere, but I'm really active on Instagram. If you guys ever need anything, just hit me up there. Yeah, simple as that. GAGEB and then the number 10, basically everywhere.
Sweet. Sounds good. Thanks for coming on today, Gage. I look forward to more conversations in the future.
Yeah, for sure, man. For your first time doing this and all the viewers listen, he's good. This thing's gonna pop. There's not many podcasts that I've been on that flow this well. It's normally a little chippy. So this is good, man. I appreciate you inviting me on, and also for the viewers, y'all like, comment, and subscribe on this channel. You
Let's
want to see
go.
the stuff he has coming. This should be something to watch for in years to come.
Yeah, run it up.
Appreciate it.